Ventura County plays a crucial role in the recovery of one of the most endangered birds in the world, the California Condor. The county has some of the best habitat for the massive birds and hosts one of 4 facilities working to increase the number of condors living in the wild, the Hopper Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. The Ventura County Fire Department is doing its part to support that effort by managing vegetation at the refuge to reduce the risk of fire for staff, condors, and buildings.
I'm Ariana Punzlin. I'm the supervisory wildlife biologist for the California Condor Recovery Program based out of Hopper Mountain National Wildlife Refuge Complex. So California condors are really special. They are critically endangered and there are just over 300 condors free flying in the wild. The condor population declined in the 1980s and there were actually only around 22 individuals left in the wild before biologists captured them all and brought them into captivity for a captive breeding program. Since 1992, condors have been re-released out into the wild, and Hopper Mountain National Wildlife Refuge is one of the sites where we actually trap condors twice a year and monitor them, and it is also a great site for wild nesting. Condors are the largest flying land bird of North America. They have a 9.5-foot wingspan and on average are 20 pounds. They are scavengers, so they only eat animals that have already died. Sometimes what they eat has been shot, and sometimes they're shot with lead ammunition. So lead poisoning is the condor's greatest threat to survival today. And this site helps us to trap condors, do health checks on them, check them for lead exposure, and put new transmitters on them so we can continue monitoring them and keep doing our work trying to recover their population.
Hi, I'm Louis Carranza. We're here today at Hopper Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. This is one of 568 national wildlife refuges across the country, managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. A big part of Hopper Mountain is California Condor recovery. We have a 2,473 acre property that we use to monitor the populations, the health, and nesting sites of the endangered California condor. Hopper Mountain is an important facility, important refuge for a number of reasons, but one of the coolest things about this property is the SoCal flock, which will range from in Southern California from San Luis Obispo County all the way up to Tulare County. There's a huge area, but typically on any given year we'll have 10 to 12 nests, and Hopper has a high abundance of nests, typically 5, 6 on annual on average. One of the biggest threats to our operations here on the property is actually fire. So defensible space and fuel is a huge component of what we're doing here in the facilities to protect our bunkhouse, our condor flight pen, and some of our shop buildings. And so coming out here today and doing some work on fuels clearing, pretty important, and keeping these area protected for not only the birds, but also the people and the property as well.
VCFD hand crews are creating defensible space around buildings by trimming grasses, removing dead branches and trees, and cutting back selected brush and trees. The work is partially funded by a federal grant and will cover up to 15 acres at the refuge. Removing that vegetation reduces the amount of fuel for potential wildfires, lowering the risk of damage to the facility and that critical condor habitat. You can reduce the fire risk at your home too. Learn more at vcfd.org.